What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're here for another edition of Dynasty Talk podcast, and I'm here with Nate. No, we're not here with Nate today, so it's just going to be Malcolm from Fly Society and Chris from Let the Wookiee Win. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it
Going
going?
on?
Kind of completely forgot that Nate was not here on this edition of Dynasty Talk. He might jump in later. I guess it remains to be seen. The man has a lot of clothes to pack. But let's just jump right into it. We're going to talk about playoffs. Yes, today we're talking about playoffs. Let's just
Playoffs.
jump right. So let's just jump right in and see who's going to be in the playoffs. And for the playoff edition of Dynasty Talk podcast, I think we should probably just go ahead and get the elephant out of the room and say we're not going to talk about these teams. And that's a pretty short list this year. It's only two teams that I think we can pretty much safely consider as out. That's It Hurts When I Furt. That's Rick. And Colt 45 Revolvers. That's Colton. Would you guys both agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
Colton's there from self-inflicted wounds, and Rick's just too young.
Would it surprise you guys to learn that Colton was 3-2 5 games ago?
I mean, no, but yes.
Yeah, he's lost 5 in a row.
That's rough,
He's on
man.
the worst streak in the league right now.
Followed closely by what, Max at 4? Yeah.
Yeah, Max has 4 losses in a row. Yep. He was 4-2 4 weeks ago, and now he's 4-6.
I just played Max.
Well, you have
Contributed to the
some.
losing streak.
Well, let's just jump through the records real quick. Let's always start with the North because, for all reasons that are obvious, the North is just far superior. So let's just start at the top.
Points were made.
So, Cody, that's myself, 8-2. We got Let the Wookiee Win. That's you, Chris, 7-3. We got the Valyrian Steelers, 6-4. A new name at the top of the playoff standings near this end of the year. At 6-4, that's Eric. Fly Society, that's Malcolm. That's you. And then we got 4-6 Crab Lakes to go. That's Bill. And then, of course, your dad, who we just announced will not be part of the playoff festivities at 2-8.
Yeah, I don't think he's been a part of them since that first year.
Yeah, the rebuild is still going, but it's definitely. I don't think your dad has never had a top pick, and that will be very different this year by the looks of it. Unless
Yeah.
something drastic changes, he ends up with the third pick or the fourth pick. He will probably have a top two.
Yeah.
All right, well, that brings us to the South, the redheaded stepchild of the Dynasty League. And at number one spot is Tom, and he's at 7-3. And number two, Trumpelo Bills, that's Nate, 6-4. And then you got three teams in a row, all tied for that third spot. And that's Suck My Balls, Mr. Garrison, Ricky, Juju in My Hoo Hoo, that's Max, and Waken Baker and Robert. And then we've got Colton down at the very bottom at 3-7. He will have no chance of making the playoffs by the looks of it this year. And he's at 3-7. Will most likely have the second or third pick in the draft. All right. Well, any surprises by people that may or may not be in the playoffs?
Gotta be Valyrian Steelers, man.
Yeah.
What a season so far.
Yeah, from a team that has probably only won definitely hasn't won more than what, maybe 3 or 4 games in the last couple of years. Yeah, and he's doing it in surprising fashion too. Like nobody is scoring any points against him either. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I was going to
wins
say
or wins.
he's the ninth. He's the ninth highest scoring team in the league, and he's 6-4.
Yeah, I mean he's averaging 114 scored against him, so that's
115.8.
My 69 points weren't good enough to beat him. I don't know what to say.
Well, let's jump right back into the playoff talk again. I know we talked about the records a little bit. Let's start at the South this time because I think there's much more adversity in the South. Actually, I know
yeah.
the North's got adversity for the first time, but it seems like really there's 5 teams that could all switch places. I know Tom's pretty much a shoe-in, and Nate's probably a shoe-in too. Like I said, he's also been there every year, and his team's been pretty strong. But yeah, those last 3 spots, I mean, it could be anybody. Literally throw a dart and just pick the person that you think would actually be there. But let's jump right into the South. Tomfoolery most likely in. Trumbull Bills most likely in. That third spot, you got Suck My Balls, Mr. Garrison, averaging 118 a game. You got Juju and your Hoopoo averaging a little less than 113. And then you got Wake and Baker, who's actually averaging 125. But they all have the same record, all 4-6.
I mean, just from the stats, you gotta think it's gonna be Wake and Baker. I mean, I like his team. I mean, if Saquon comes back and is anything, yeah, with Jamar Chase and Burrow, like,
Yeah, I
I'll,
like teams that score, and he's by far the best scoring team.
yeah.
Out of those three at least.
I mean, even other than Tom in that division, he's maybe the best scorer in that division.
Yeah, his high on the year is 139. He did that.
He's being
Uh,
very consistent.
Yeah, he's consistent.
Yeah, he actually scored 139 to Colt 45's 135 in week 7. That was a really off keel week for both those teams. But yeah, he's got a pretty hard schedule going forward. Not super hard. I mean, yeah, actually, he's not. Because it looks like Tom Foolery next this week. He plays Tom. Then he's got Ricky, which kind of controls his own destiny for the next 2 games with Ricky and Max, and then gets a nice, easy layup against Colton week 14.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I would agree. I think
yeah.
he's got the best chance.
I mean, he'll most likely lose to Tom. Just I'm assuming he will this week, and then if he wins the next 3, yeah, then there's no reason he's not in.
And I don't think that Thief has been in the playoffs maybe since week 1 or season 1 as well. I think that's kind of crazy to actually say out loud, but I'm pretty sure that might be true. He may have made the playoffs one other year. This might only be his 3rd appearance, possibly only his 2nd appearance, if he does make it. And he also holds my number 1 pick in the draft this year, or the other way around. I hold his number 1, so I'm kind of hoping he doesn't make the playoffs.
Oh, he's making the playoffs.
Well, anything else to say about the South before we move back on to the Superior North?
I
um,
mean, just Tom and Nate are like the only chance I see of that division finally getting a championship. So we'll see.
yeah, I mean, Tom's got a very good chance of winning it too. That's from that division. I think he's the only one that has a chance, and he's got a very good one. So
Yeah, 5 times in a row, the North has won the championship. And I want to say we did
all
the
the
research a
times.
couple times ago. 3 times out of the 5, it's only been the North in the championship too.
Was
So
Mount?
they've only even been to a championship twice.
Yeah, yeah. It was Nate that first
Yeah.
year, and then Max the first year I won, I think. So I've been year 2. So yeah, the first 2 years they were in, and then not since then.
Your first championship was against me
Okay, then it
in
was
the
then Max was the
final.
second one.
Yeah, I know Max was one of them. But yeah, I think it was year 3, like Malcolm said.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 of the last 4 years, it's been nothing but North in the championship. And I agree. I think this is probably their best chance they've ever had with
Oh
Tom,
yeah.
not only to win it, but also obviously get back for the first time in 2 or 3 seasons.
I mean,
Yeah,
it would be a huge upset if Tom isn't there at this point.
I mean, I'm not going to look ahead at what his schedule looks like for his players or anything.
He's on.
But we've seen crazier things than a team like that
Oh
that only
yeah.
scores. I only say only knowing that I'm saying it with a grain of salt, but like we talked about this earlier on the call. Like Malcolm's team from like 2 years ago was so elite that it was like
Yeah.
beyond understanding and unfathomable. This is not one of the best teams we've ever seen in Tom, and
No.
we've seen crazy things in a team like this lose in the first round,
Yeah.
or a team like mine for that matter.
Oh,
Would
trust me,
not
I
be
know.
surprised
I
at all.
did it for like 3 straight years. It sucks. Or 2 straight years. When you have a good team and you're kind of dominating the regular season and the playoffs come, you lose in the first round because Derrick Henry goes nuts, and you know,
Yeah, you're saying first round, but what you mean is that you had a bye.
Well, yeah, like the first round I played, so second round, I guess.
Right.
Well,
I
you
mean,
don't have.
I don't think it's completely in the cards that Nate doesn't end up winning that bye over Tom too. I can see that happening.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
The only
I
thing
got
about Nate's team though is he only scores like 120 points a game pretty much every week.
yeah. I think it's gonna be hard for him to
you're
have
right.
a big boom week to beat Tom, unless. Yeah, it's one of those like there's a lot of players on that team that I think are really good and could have huge weeks. They just haven't. So like right now, it's hard to think that they will. But I mean, there's still what 7 weeks left of the year, so like so a lot of stuff could change. So
Yeah. Well, what else about the South before we move back to the North?
um,
I mean, it's mediocre,
who's
but it's competitive.
who
Uh,
who do you think's gonna be
five of
the
those
third
six
one
teams
in?
win.
Who's gonna be the third team in that?
Wakenbaker. I thought that's what we were agreeing on.
Oh, I was just wanted to hear what everyone's opinion was on it for
Yep. No,
make it
I'd say
official.
Wakenmaker.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think
Who
I
has
think
the
Max has a sneaky chance though too. I'd probably put him second out of those three.
Who?
Max, even though I don't like his team, I still think Josh Allen, Daryl Henderson, and
Adams and
Devontae
Jefferson. Yeah,
and Justin Jefferson might be enough to sneak him in.
yeah, it might be.
Yeah, that was my next question. It was who has the least likely chance? Is that Ricky?
It's feeling that way.
Yeah, but it's not like it's that bad of a chance.
No, but yeah, you're right. It's not a bad chance. He's
Ricky has lost his last two.
he's gonna.
Plays Colt this week, Robert the week after, Tom the week after that, and then Nate the final week. So yeah, not the easiest schedule of the three either. Um, yeah, I'm thinking probably Ricky.
He just needs running backs. That's his problem.
Yeah,
Is
he's finally got his health issues over with everywhere else, but he's just got no running backs.
Yeah, Miles Sanders was the guy he needed to bank on this year, and I'll give him credit. Like he tried to get a running back. He drafted Trey Sermon,
Yeah,
and then you know did everything he could to keep Jamal Williams after Jamal Williams got cut by somebody at the end of the year last year. But yeah, he did everything right. He bet on Miles Gaskin and Miles Sanders and got a bunch of other complimentary pieces, Chase Edmonds, and then things just haven't worked out luck wise. But as wide receiver, he's having one of the most monster years of a wide receiver we've ever seen.
yeah,
And honestly, like he could have made a move and like offered up Cooper Cup and got like a bunch of players back, and he might have been better off. But I know that's hindsight. Obviously, no one could have predicted that that was going to be the case when he started out as strong as he did, because he did start out very strong.
yeah. And now if Robert Woods hurt, I mean, I'm sure he's gonna have a good finish too. So
Yeah, he just had an 11 catch game, like 16 targets.
yeah,
he's just got Jerry Judy back, man. Like I like Jerry Judy a lot. So
George Kittle's back too now.
yeah, like he's got players, to pick up some of the pieces for him.
Oh yeah, he's Chase Claypool's been in and out of injury. He's somewhat more healthy now. And he just picked up Deshaun Jackson as well. I think there's value there. So yeah, don't have any issue with his team, but definitely think he's got the least likely chance. He does have one of the best, I guess, more electric quarterbacks in Dak Prescott. Somebody
Yeah,
that can put up a big 35-point week when he needs it.
yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
All right, well, let's move on to the North. And the North has Potent 8-2. First place, Let the Wookie win 7-3. And Eric Valerian Steelers 6-4. Fly Society 5-5. Crab Legs to go 4-6. So Crab Legs to go still in it. Fly Society definitely still in it on the cusp. And Valerian Steelers trying to hold on. And I think you and I are probably safe, Chris, but obviously we've seen stranger things happen. And I
Yeah, with
think there's
my
a solid chance.
with my string of injuries lately too, I who knows who's next, man.
You're on a
About like
3-game
weeks
winning
3
streak.
through
Yeah,
8.
yeah. I'd rather have
So
had it
you're on a
happen
3-game
then.
winning streak. Sorry, you're on a 3-game winning streak. Malcolm's on a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah,
Two of the hottest teams in the league right now, winning streak wise, and I'm not making that up. You are two of the hottest teams. Tom is obviously the hottest team.
yeah.
4-game winning streak.
And then I get a tough one against you this week,
Oh yeah.
which I'm your only
Well,
divisional
what are
loss
we
this
looking at?
week, right? Or so far?
What's that?
I said I'm your only loss in division so far.
Yeah, I have a loss to you and a loss to Tom. Those are my only two losses.
Just checking.
Yeah. Okay. I'm only losing to good teams. I'm okay with that for now. So I'm only losing to really good teams. But let's see. We talk about the overall, longevity of having a chance to win an actual championship. I would still say that any of the three on us on the call right now probably have a more likelihood chance of anybody from the North winning this year. That's just my feelings. I know that's probably a little over embellished, but I think there's definitely chances for some of those teams. I just think that we have a much better chance.
I mean, it's
When you're already in, it's a lot easier to say that than when you're fighting for your spot. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's 100% embellished. I mean, I think I have the worst chance currently, but I don't think I'll be there, but I don't think I can win it.
Well, who do we think is going to actually take that third spot? So Valyrian Steelers 6-4, Fly Society 5-5, Crab Lakes to go 4-6. Let's start with Valyrian Steelers' schedule real quick, actually. Now we can kind of see what they're trying to jump in front of. He's got Bill this week, so huge game right there. Lots of implications that directly affect Malcolm. And then he's got me the week after, you the week after that, Chris, and then Malcolm the third week. So he's got Murderer's Row to finish out his year.
Yeah, he does. I mean, and if Bill ends
Yeah,
up beating him this week, Bill's in the thick of it.
yeah. The only thing about this team is he doesn't score. I mean, if no one scores
No.
more than you every week, then who cares? But like, I don't really understand how this team's 6-4.
No, not at all. When you've got my dad at the bottom at 2-8, averaging 123, it doesn't make a lot of sense. No.
No, it's pretty confusing. It doesn't really make any sense at all. He has had a higher week total than a lot of the rest of the league with 152,
Yeah.
and he's actually scored more than 149 twice. Yeah, I mean he's got a higher ceiling than most of the other teams, but like I said at the beginning of the call, he's ninth in league scoring. So yeah,
I mean,
I
as
think
long as
he's
he has
definitely
those
beatable.
big weeks, the last 3 weeks, I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, he's got games in hand, so
yeah,
he's not, being chased. He's
correct. Yeah,
he's, so I'd rather be in that position than
yeah.
my position, which is chasing people above you.
Yeah, I mean, his last 3 weeks, he actually won two of those games. One of those weeks, he scored 86 in one, and the other week, he scored 115 in one. 112 wasn't good enough to win last week. All right, well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Eric does not make the playoffs.
Oh man,
I think
real
Flash
shaky
does make the
Lemiron
playoffs.
out there.
What's that?
I said real shaky Lemiron out there.
I know, man. I know that you guys just can't fathom that, but I'm pretty sure Fly Society's going to take that spot. I don't think there's really any chance of him getting in over Malcolm and Bill at the very end. But I think there's obviously a much stronger chance of Malcolm getting in versus either one of those two options. So I think Malcolm's probably 50, 60% of the chances. I'll say Eric's got 30%, and I'll say Bill's got 10%.
I think that seems accurate. I
I'm
just
abstain because I don't want to jinx my team.
yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, healthily, Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, and Travis Kelsey. That still sounds like the best team in the league.
Yeah, I just don't have receivers.
Yeah,
That's the
no,
problem.
no, yeah, I'm aware. The one you had, you gave away.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough breaks over here.
Yeah, but still, that's a huge potential. I mean, just those guys alone is upwards of 100 points potentially
So
at
yeah,
any given
so
moment.
like I was telling you guys pre-calls, looking at a couple years ago, and yeah, that was the thing. Is I would just
That
roll
was
out
it.
those 4 or 5 players, and I'd be at like 125,
Yep.
or like 110. You know what I mean? So it's
Cause,
I know it's doable.
'cause didn't you average over like 160 that year?
Oh yeah, I averaged like 162 or something.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was a
And
great year.
speaking of Eric, real quick, while we're on the subject still, Eric, how many times do you think he started Jalen Hurts this year? We played 10 games so far. Of those 10, how often has Jalen Hurts started?
How many? Who's his other
What's his other
quarterback? Yeah.
quarterback?
Who else is his quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matthew Stafford, Cam Newton, and Mac Jones.
None.
twice.
You would be correct, Malcolm. He started Jalen Hurts twice.
Isn't
Matthew,
Jalen Hurts like a top 3 like quarterback?
yeah, Matthew
Something like
Stafford has
that.
started 8 times.
Yeah. I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
I would want to start Matt Stafford instead of Jalen Hurts too, but at some point you gotta realize you're wrong.
Clearly, Jalen Hurts is a worse quarterback,
Yep.
but fantasy wise, like Jalen Hurts is pretty nasty,
Yeah,
man.
he's been awesome all year. His
Now,
just
I was surprised by that.
his
So
floor is
Matthew
just super
Stafford does
high.
have 11 more. He has 11 more points right now, but Jalen Hurts, I would have guessed, would have been the starter every week. Huh. Well,
Wait, did you say
anything else?
Matthew Stafford has more?
He does 254 to 243.
Oh wow, I wouldn't have guessed that. Okay.
And Matthew Stafford has already had his bye week, whereas Jalen Hurts has not.
No, Jalen Hurts has definitely had his bye week, haven't they?
Jalen Hurts' bye week is week 14.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
And I said he already had his bye week. Matthew Stafford's
That's
had
this
his bye
week.
week. Yeah, this week. Yeah.
So they're even, yeah.
Yep. So 11 points more. That's not gonna lie, surprising, but I mean, still, I mean, like Chris said, I just feel like you're wrong if you're making that decision 8 times out of 10.
He just because the you know you're gonna get at least 18 out of Jalen Hurts, maybe 20. Like I always go back to like I think it's why I get a lot of offers for quarterbacks and trades because I still won that one championship rotating Case Keenum and Jacoby Brissett, who have never been amazing quarterbacks. Like, you don't need a guy that's going to do. It's nice to have a guy that's going to drop 35, and if he does that week, that's awesome. But as long as you can get 20 points out of him in championship week, you can probably win. So, yeah, I would start Jalen Hurts every week just because there's a better chance of me winning with him.
Yeah, high ceiling is everything in fantasy, and I think experienced fantasy owners know that. But uh,
High
there's still
floor.
people that. What's that?
High floor.
I'm talking about high ceiling, but yeah,
No,
I
but
do
you want
agree.
a high floor, not a high. I like high. You want a high floor. Like
Yeah,
what Chris is saying is he'd rather have someone who he can like knows is gonna get him 18, and like yeah, maybe some weeks does like 25 as opposed to like people who get 35 like 3 or 4 times a week, but other times they're only getting like 10. That's not as beneficial.
No, and
Does that
I
make
get
sense?
that. I'm saying that Jalen Hurts. I see Chris is using him as a floor example. I'm
yeah.
saying, but however, the high ceiling of Matthew Stafford, I think, is what he was going for.
Yeah,
And
I
exactly.
get you.
Yeah, no, I
yeah, I
understand the
know.
strategy. I just use the other strategy. Except for, or at least at quarterback, because
Right.
I've never felt like I needed an absolute dominant quarterback to win because I've never had one, and I've been able to. So
I would say from when you look at it right now, like this team's not a balanced team at all. So they got
no,
Najee Harris, Kenyon Drake, and Josh Jacobs are the next two options. Besides CD Lamb, who's had about
He
140
loves
this
the
year.
University of Alabama. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for real. So, but besides CD Lamb with 135, his second best wide receiver has 79 points, and it's AJ Green.
yeah,
Dude, I wish I had 135 from the receiver position. Sounds like a dream.
yeah, that's pretty
Oh no,
lopsided.
I'm out on this team. I just don't see this is not their year. I don't think they're gonna get in. I give Bill a better chance now. I'm gonna raise him to 25%.
Yeah, he's got a
We'll
lot. A
put
lot of good things have gone his way with other people getting injured to help out his guys, like AJ Dillon specifically.
yeah, for real. That one's gonna help out a lot. That's gonna pay dividends for a while
Along
too.
with Kyler
Yeah,
Murray
but Bill's
when
got
he comes
much room to
back.
maneuver, man. Like, he's 2 games back. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, he can't make mistakes, but I mean, he just isn't deep enough. If something goes wrong, like if Kyler Murray continues to not play, yeah, he's gonna be done.
Yeah, Daniel Jones hasn't done anything to make me think that he's gonna continue his success from week 1 through 3. All right, well, looking at the Bills team, I actually think Bills team is way more well-rounded than the Illyrian Steelers. And so shout out to Will because the rookies he drafted this year panned out and made him a lot stronger of a team. Like Michael Carter looks real good on his roster right now,
Mm-hmm.
and and having Devonta Smith on the wide receivers as well. I mean, it's definitely become a sexy roster.
Yeah, it's one way to put it.
Good job, Chris.
Yeah, this is my fault.
So, anything else about the North?
No, not really. Just kind of hope Malcolm doesn't make the playoffs. But other than that,
So as it stands now, we got Potent let the Wookiee win. Potent with the bye, let the Wookiee win with the 3 seed, and that would mean that Tom would be filling the 2 seed in the South. He'd be getting the bye, and then Nate would have the 4 seed as Trumpelo Bills. Who'd be that 5 seed? Would it be Valyrian Steelers, Flag Society, or
No,
Wake and
here.
Bear?
Oh, you mean currently or
If
like
it was right
future?
now, I was talking about the future. I'm sorry. I do know how I phrased it though, so I can see how that was confusing. But yeah, Valyrian Steelers would be the 5th seed right now. But who do we say those last 2 spots would be to get in? Because conferences do not matter in that regard, to our knowledge, right?
yeah, I have no idea. It just always seems to work out that way.
It always does, absolutely. But yeah, I think Wake and Baker gets in with that 3rd seed, and they'll be that final 6th seed, and then probably Fly Society in that 5 seed.
Yeah,
So your week 1 matchup would be Fly Society versus Trumpelo Bills, and then let the Wookiee win versus Wake and Baker.
yeah, sounds awesome.
Played Nate last year in the playoffs. If that feel good about that.
Yeah, I'd feel good about that if I was your team as well. Not that he's a disappointing team, but looking at all the rosters like I just did again, as we do every time that we do this podcast, I just get soured. I get excited about certain teams like Crab Legs, Wake and Baker, and then I look at Nate's team and I'm just like, man, I don't know. He's got maybe 1 season left of continued success with what he's had. But Patrick Mahomes could just keep him going regardless. And he still has Jake Funk on his roster. Jake Funk is on IR, by the way. And Nate has him on his roster and nobody on his IR spot. Like, it's so confusing. Calvin Ridley's not even on his IR spot.
I
It's
mean,
just,
he's managed to make money on this league for what 4 years and for like 4 of the years now, 5 of
yeah, I guess, I mean, he hasn't made money. He gets his money back for winning the conference, right?
them. Yeah, I don't know. I've never won the conference.
No, isn't the conference
I just
75?
win the whole
Yeah, he
thing.
went at 75. He's making money. You're right.
Yeah.
He's made money. Okay.
So
He should.
he knows what
Well,
he's doing.
Nate's a good guy. I just saw Nate. He just came here to my house like the last week sometime after going to watch the Bills get smacked around by the Jags.
Oh, that's awesome. He was at that game. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he was definitely at the game.
They've been to a Bills game that they've won because we went to the Bucks Bills game a few years ago, and the Bucks definitely spanked that ass. So
Is that where they ended up in the arena jail?
what Nate did, yeah.
Somebody did. Probably
No, it was
Nate.
just Nate. It was only Nate.
Well, hopefully nobody important listens to this podcast about Nate and learns information about him. But I guess it's his fault for not being on this call right now to defend himself.
That's true.
All right, so I got a little something a little different. We've never done this before, but I knew this is going to be a shorter call than usual. And I had some good ones I had come up with while we were sitting here. I'm going to play a little game with you guys. And the game is which one of these players is in the top 10 for fantasy scoring of their position currently? All right? So I'm going to give you two players. We're going to start out with an easy one. I got Justin Jefferson, and I've got Michael Pittman.
I
mean,
I would say Justin Jefferson, but it's probably clearly Michael Pittman.
yeah, I think it's Justin Jefferson, but the nature of the question being asked, I'm going to say it's Michael Pittman.
That will be part of this game. We're keeping it simple, so I will try to fake you out a little bit there, but there will be some surprises along the way.
Ooh. So thrilling. So?
Yeah,
I say Michael Pittman. Is it Michael Pittman or Justin Jefferson? The suspense is killing
Malcolm, what
me.
was your answer?
Just give me Justin Jefferson.
All right, Malcolm says Justin Jefferson. Chris says Michael Pittman.
Yep.
The correct answer is Michael Pittman. Chris gets a point.
Bingo.
All right, so top 10 tight ends. This gets a little harder, right? I got Zach Ertz, and I got Noah Fant.
Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz.
You both go with Zach Ertz?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you're both wrong. It's Noah Fant. All right, I got quarterback. A little fun on this one. I got Kyler Murray, and I've got Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Murray's been out for, what, 2
2
weeks?
Just one, I think. No, it's been 2.
It's been 2
It's
weeks.
been
It's
2.
been almost 3.
Yeah.
All right, you both going Burrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, number 10.
Wow.
Joe
What's
Burrow is
Burrow?
number 12.
Okay.
All right, so I got DeAndre Swift and James Conner.
DeAndre Swift.
Swift. Yeah, it's gotta be Swift.
DeAndre Swift is 11. James Conner is 9.
Jesus.
Wait, is this in PPR or half PPR?
It's half PPR.
Oh, it's on. Okay.
I'm gonna repeat myself. I'll remind you guys that only one person's gotten one right so far.
And mine
That's
was
you.
mine was a guess.
So,
So did I even
All right,
really
let's go
get it right?
I got DK Metcalf and Chris Godwin.
That-
Godwin.
Neither. Is that an option?
No, one. Yeah, they're, one of them is top 10, and it's by 1.2 points.
I'm gonna say Godwin.
It is DK Metcalf.
Son of a bitch.
I got one last one, and it is a kicker for fun. Let's throw this in here. So I've got Randy Bullock of the Tennessee Titans, and I've got Brandon McManus of the Denver Broncos.
Randy Bullock.
Just give McManus for no reason at all.
I heard McManus. Did I hear a different one?
I said Randy Bullock.
Okay, so Randy Bullock is the correct answer.
Fuck yeah.
Chris Wade. This has been an addition to top 10.
Take that,
And-
Malcolm.
Taking
Funny
those
enough,
all season.
Randy Bullock is the 5th best kicker in our fantasy league. He missed week 1, and he's still 5th, and is not owned by anybody.
Yeah,
Huh.
Greg Joseph was just picked up by me because my kicker was on a bye the other day, and I think he was like 6 or 4. I can't remember. He was right around there,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh, yeah, I guess this will be fine.
I have not dropped my kicker all year, actually. I've stayed with Tyler Bass, and I drafted him in round 5 of our actual redraft every year. And Tyler Bass has become the 2nd best kicker. Kind of surprised.
Who's
I don't even
one?
know why. What's that?
Who's one?
No, Nick Folk's number one. He's got 103.
He's got an extra like 4 or so today. I have a question since we're speaking about kickers. What your thoughts are on this with the rule? So in the scoring, extra points are now what, a 33-yard kick, correct? Isn't somewhere around there?
Correct. Correct.
So we get 3 points for a field goal that's 0 to 39, but you only get 1 point for an extra point. Basically the same damn thing. You know what I mean? Kick's basically the same distance.
Are you are you about to propose that extra points count for more points than one?
I'm trying to propose we just get rid of fucking kickers and defenses altogether.
I mean, I just don't know what it's like to do a fantasy league without kickers,
No,
and
I agree. I just think they're so wildly unpredictable that they're just, especially the defenses with the way ours is set up in our league. If you give up 20, if your defense gives up 20 over 20 points, they get -3. And I'm just like, that's half the teams in the NFL are going to score over 21 points every week. It's just your odds are against you. You're almost not going to, yeah.
I think this is a collusion between you and Malcolm to try to keep me away from getting a championship now that I have an MVP kicker like Tyler Bass.
I'm not that concerned, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those I've always played with them. I've never not had kickers in defense. They just feel like they never help. They always hurt eventually.
Yeah, I mean, in a dynasty league though, I feel like it's necessary. Like we even flirted like when we originally talked about doing this league,
Yeah,
how many
doing
different years to
positions.
spend. Yeah, we talked about doing individual defensive players too,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
a big thing at the
I
time.
think yeah, I'm glad we didn't do that. I
yeah.
think this is the right way, and we set it up perfectly too. Like we set it up exactly with 11 players. Like each week you start 11 players, and I think that says something to like trying to keep this as simulation as possible. But yeah, I don't know. I like the kicker aspect. I don't think it hurts anything, but at the same time, I do agree. I think it's pretty pointless.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that was
No
our water
kicker,
cooler
just
talk.
add more like receivers, running backs, and tight ends.
Exactly.
I guess we can talk about that real quick. But what are you guys feeling about expanding the roster even another spot next year? Would you guys be opposed to that? We have 24 spots right now.
Yeah, I don't really see the need for it
Yeah.
personally. I mean, just initial thought at least.
Yeah, the only thing I think that it helps you with is if you're a bad team, you're able to regroup easier if you have more roster spots, and I think that does help with diversity as far as parity, I should say, among the league. I think that kind of helps, but at the same time, some teams don't even use their roster spots wisely in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, I don't think it's going to help them come back regardless. So I don't think it's necessary by any means, but something we've been talked about for a while. Like, it took 5 years for us to raise it up one spot, and it was only because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
Well, what else you guys got?
Falcons suck. That's what I got.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, their cap situation's insane too. Like they have no future based on what they set themselves up for. Um, it's pretty much just hope and pray that Kyle Pitts ends up being great.
Yeah, that's. And then the Calvin Ridley situation, like that's just a tough break for everyone involved with that.
There's been like no updates in that situation either. Like you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to until he's back.
Yeah, he's costing me. Like, I have him in best friends league.
Yeah, I have him in
He's
two.
killing me.
I have him in my other leagues.
I was kind of all in on him, and like I have him in like 4 of my 6 leagues. I feel like, and it's not going that well.
Hmm.
Him and Miles Sanders, those are my two guys.
Never trust Miles Sanders ever.
Well, I know that now. I didn't know that then.
But yeah,
Well,
who do you think's win the Super Bowl? Real football. Real before we're done.
it's got to be the Bucks, right? I mean, after last week.
No, I'm saying
I
like
mean,
who do you really think's gonna win the Super Bowl? Because right now I can't even say that I think they are. Right now they're not playing well enough to.
I mean, I was making a joke that last week was insanely disappointing, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you were doing. I was just venting my frustrations on the situation.
if I had to bet right now, I'd say the Packers. But
I was going to say the same thing. I think it's
but like
crazy that we're both saying the Packers, though. I think it's crazy as I say it, but I just have faith somehow.
it's honestly one of the craziest years I can remember. Like I don't feel good about any
Anybody,
like I can make a
yeah.
case for 15 different teams, and I don't have a definitive like that team's gonna win. If you know,
Yeah,
but if the
that's
Bucks are in the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll tell you that.
No,
Like
I wouldn't
they've
be
been hurt
surprised.
all year, literally all year.
I would love to see Patriots in the Bucks.
I mean, haven't we already seen that enough this year? It's that one game being hyped up like crazy.
No, no, we need it
Yeah, it
again.
would be brutal
We
for
we need
2 weeks.
it.
That'd be tough.
I mean, I wouldn't rule out the Ravens either. I think they've got
Eh,
something about the Ravens offense gets me excited. Like when they're when they're behind at the end of the game, I feel like there's a strong chance that they could win. But at the same time, I feel terrible about the fact that Lamar's probably going to have to throw.
yeah, but he's been fine
Lamar's
throwing the
been great.
ball. I think the bigger problem is if they're in the playoffs in a game where they have to come from behind, they're playing an offense that defense can't stop.
Yeah, the defense is terrible.
Yeah, they're not.
And
They're
as
not
someone
what they
who's
used to
only
be.
rostering
Yeah.
that defense is not like. I mean, they're hurt. They lost
Yeah.
what like 3 starters for the year.
Oh yeah. No,
But
they're in rough shape, but still.
but yeah, like the Bills. I don't know what the hell the Bills like. I don't know what their deal is. The Patriots. I don't. I mean, I know they keep winning, but
And
whatever.
the Rams, I thought, the Cardinals, I thought, yeah, I don't really know now.
Titans.
The
The
Chiefs. I mean, the
the
Chiefs. Who knows?
yeah, if the Chiefs get hot, then it's them again. Yeah, there's too many.
Cowboys.
Fuck the Cowboys. It will not be the Cowboys.
But they're good. I mean, they're good
They are very good though.
unless they play the Broncos.
True. The Broncos. Like that week, there were some of the most strangest victories, and that were just like, you're like, wait, what? Or like the Dolphins last week. Good for the Dolphins though.
Love that
Oh,
Dolphins beat.
hate the Dolphins.
Yeah, I hate the Dolphins more than almost every other team,
Wow.
with the exception of the Patriots. That's the team I hate the most. But yeah, the
I
Dolphins. I've always hated Miami fans in general.
huh.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing.
Yeah, no, I've never felt anything negative towards Dolphin fans ever.
Which, speaking of Miami fans, Lucas, how did last Saturday feel for you?
I mean, it felt pretty great, man. It was a pretty awesome game. We kept our head on our shoulders, gave it 110%. And we're headed to bowl eligibility after we beat Florida.
That game is turned into. I, I don't even know what's going to happen. Both those teams look bad, although Florida State's looks better recently. Not better than Florida. Well, maybe, yeah, they have looked better.
I mean, Florida State went on a 3-game winning streak until they lost 2 in a row before winning last week. So, I mean, I would argue they looked better 3 weeks ago than they have in the past few weeks, obviously. But even that Miami game, we looked ugly at like one point. It looked terrible.
Well,
But
yeah,
still, I
it's
mean, our
because
play
they're not a
calling
good
is
football
wild.
team. That's why.
No, our play calling is wild. It's all over the place. It kind of excites me in the sense that I've never seen a lot of these things happen in a game, let alone a Florida State game. But it seems like it really just doesn't work, and we're also ridiculously predictable. Like you know when Jordan Travis is in a 3rd and 2 situation, he's just gonna run it to the outside.
Is that game?
He's gonna be
Is that game
It
being
reminds
gamed
me
though?
of like the Ravens. Like their defense is just not good. That's the problem. So like even when they were up against Miami, they were up 21, whatever it was, 21-7 or whatever. And I'm just like Miami's gonna come back and score. Like I'm not. That's my thing with Florida State is their defense.
yeah, their secondary is devastated in a lot of ways. They're all young. Brownlee with their best corners, like true freshmen. But I mean, we have probably arguably one of the best defenders in the entire league in Jermaine Jones.
Yeah, of course. It's Florida State. They're gonna get talent. Like, of course they have good. Like Jermaine Jones is amazing, by the way. Like he's gonna be a
Yeah,
first
he's
round pick, and I had
he's
no
gonna be
idea
like
who the guy was before this year.
yeah. I think he's gonna be better than Brian Burns. And I thought Brian Burns was one of the best players I've ever seen at Florida State. So
That's crazy.
Brian Burns was amazing.
Malcolm, that's crazy.
It's crazy, but I mean, Brian Burns did it for like 3 seasons. 3 seasons. This guy's done it for one. So that's my deal.
No, well, I'm saying Brian. I said he's the best I've seen since Brian Burns. Is what I said. I didn't say he was better than Brian Burns.
What are you talking about? You just said he's gonna be better than Brian Burns.
It's possible. Well, it's not a Florida State show, so we rolling, Chris? Still?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we are.
So,
Yeah, I figured a lot
You gotta
of
wrap
times
this up.
a lot of times the after show is a lot of the good stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah, I figured as much. I mean, this is usually the good stuff for sure. But I figured we can probably wrap it up since anyone listening at this point is probably only going to hear us talk about Florida State and Dune
yeah, no one's listening to this
last
long.
time. All right, well, that's been our, I think, 4th edition. Is this our 4th one?
This is the 4th one that I have, well, say produced. So 5th counting the one you did.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's our 5th edition of the Dynasty Talk podcast. I've been Lucas from Potent. That's Chris from Let the Wookiee Win, and that's Malcolm from Fly Society. And Nate, will catch you next time.
Good day.
Peace.